Isabella was a quiet little girl who lived at the edge of the whispering woods, where the trees swayed gently, and the air always smelled like wildflowers and dreams. She loved soft things, like her fuzzy slippers, warm cocoa, and bedtime lullabies. But most of all, Isabella loved light. She would sit by the window at dusk, just before bedtime, and watch the sky turn lavender and gold. Her favorite lights weren't lamps or stars or even candles. They were fireflies. Tiny glowing dots that floated in the dark, blinking and bobbing like they were dancing to music only they could hear. Magical creatures, she would whisper to herself. Every year, the village held a special event called the Firefly Festival, a night when the meadow behind the woods filled with thousands of fireflies, and families gathered with picnic baskets and glowing lanterns. There would be music and laughter and children chasing the lights with giggles and bare feet. Isabella had always wanted to go. But every year, the same thing happened. Her parents tucked her into bed early, saying, "You're still too small, sweetheart. Maybe next year." So Isabella would lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, imagining what the festival must be like, glowing rivers of light, trees sparkling like stars, and fireflies landing on outstretched fingers. But this year felt different. This year, Isabella was 7. And 7, she had decided, was brave. So the night of the Firefly Festival, when her parents tucked her in and kissed her goodnight, Isabella didn't close her eyes. She waited. 1 minute, 2, 10. When the house grew quiet and the moonlight spilled across her floor, she slipped out of bed, tiptoed to the door, and crept outside. The air was warm and soft, filled with the distant sound of music and laughter. She followed the sound, her bare feet brushing through the tall grass. The forest looked different at night, mysterious, glowing with silver light. The trees didn't whisper this time, they hummed. And the fireflies, they were everywhere. Not just blinking, dancing. They swirled around her like a glowing ribbon, lighting the path ahead. As she walked deeper into the woods, she noticed something unusual. The fireflies weren't just leading her toward the meadow, they were guiding her somewhere else. To a hidden part of the forest she'd never seen. A clearing. In the center stood a great oak tree with glowing moss around its roots and hundreds of fireflies circling above it like a golden crown. Under the tree were animals. Not just any animals, rabbits with lanterns tied to their ears, foxes wearing flower garlands, a badger in tiny spectacles reading a scroll, and an owl who looked like he'd been expecting her. "Welcome, Isabella," the owl said in a soft, deep voice. She blinked. You know my name?" "Of course," said the owl. "The fireflies told us. You're the one with a light in her heart." Isabella looked down, a little shy. "I've always wanted to see the festival," she said quietly. The owl nodded. "And so you shall." A hedgehog offered her a cup of warm berry tea. A deer bowed gently and led her to a soft mossy seat beneath the glowing tree. All around, fireflies danced in patterns, spirals, stars, even tiny shapes that looked like stories in the sky. Then the music began. But it wasn't the music from the village. It was older, softer, made from the rustle of leaves, the sigh of the wind, and the hum of the night. The fireflies moved in time with it, swirling and swooping and creating glowing trails in the air. Isabella's eyes were wide with wonder. She had never seen anything so beautiful. The owl leaned down. "Do you know why the fireflies shine?" She shook her head. "They shine," he said, "because they carry a bit of the night's magic inside them. And they dance like this only when they sense a kindred light." He looked at her meaningfully. Isabella looked around. Every creature, every light, every breeze felt like a part of something very old and very kind. And she realized something. She didn't need to chase the fireflies. She was part of their dance. The owl handed her a small glass pendant. Inside, one tiny firefly glowed gently, resting. "This is for you," he said. "A memory of tonight. Keep it near, and the light will always find you." She took it carefully, her heart full. "Thank you," she whispered. And just like that, the music slowed. The fireflies lifted into the air in one final burst of golden light, and the clearing faded back into the quiet forest. She walked home under the stars, the pendant glowing gently in her hand. When she climbed back into bed, her heart was still dancing. The next morning, her parents found her sleeping soundly, a dreamy smile on her face. They never knew she had been part of a secret celebration. But from that day on, Isabella never missed another Firefly festival. And though she went with her family like everyone else, she always wandered just a little away from the crowd to a quiet place near the trees, where the fireflies waited for her, ready to dance.